Okay, let's see if I can get through a rundown on what I've accomplished since I've been home. So over here, I've started transplanting some of the hosta, myrtle, and sedum that I had brought back from Indiana from a friend. And then they were left in buckets for several weeks while we were waiting for the landscaping to get done. Down here, I've got started on it. And where the buckets are, besides a couple sedum plants that I haven't gotten planted yet, that's all just dirt that I've pulled up from here because everything was seeded with grass through here and I didn't really want grass, so now I'm digging up the top 4 or so inches and tossing it over in a location where we kind of need some of that anyway, so it's not total loss. And I've drug these garden containers up from the woods where I had them stashed until the landscaping was done, and I have been waiting for a good rain to come in and wash them, but since I've been back that hasn't happened yet. Here's a lot of the stacked empty containers that the plants were in, and Mom had emptied all of those and planted them up around the front flower bed. And yeah, since I've been home I've made a mess again. I've pulled all of this stuff up from down here where it was thrown down by the landscapers, and I've been trying to let them dry out so I could then burn them. And I also started a fire pit, and I need to make another run to Lowe's to finish my fire pit. And then this is some of the other debris that was around where that wood is that I was thinking I could get a good fire started with. The last couple mornings I came up with the kitties and we sat and played around here. And then I watched the hummingbird around this hibiscus. Since I noticed that they were so active in this area, I decided to transplant these 2 hibiscus before the landscapers came in and I had to leave. I pulled them from down in this area where the dirt was just kind of hanging and they were getting started out of there because I knew that this would be getting all torn up and then redone. So I had temporarily planted them down in the woods until I got back. So I'm hoping to have a nice little run of hibiscus all through here, that after they fill in it'll be really beautiful, as well as a lot more nectar for the hummingbirds and butterflies. Me, Finn, and Fleur, wherever she is right now, has enjoyed just coming up here and sitting down on a nice clean rock in the mornings. That way I'm still and they get used to me and let me play with them and pet them more and more. And we sit here watching the hummingbirds. How's beautiful mama? Little Fleur's getting really comfortable. But look at her beautiful little markings. Can we see her blue eyes? With little Fynn climbing the tree. You're so cute. So many ideas I'm planning on doing. I don't really like the line of rocks there dividing the path from a supposed flower bed. I'm going to move this line of riprap over to separate the drive from the path. And that I was going to maybe do today. Now while I was gone, Mom planted a lot of the plants that we had in the buckets. She planted a majority of them all through here. And then after about 2 days of being here, she left for her trip to Indiana to visit friends, and she brought back about 6 or so more plants that I finished planting yesterday, and we found some more of her yard decor in the shed, so she was putting that out last night. So this is all looking really nice. It'll come in real nice and full next spring. Down here around the outside rim, I've planted a lot of myrtle to help with erosion. I've planted a little bit more along here. We got some lemongrass. Oh, and there's a little bit of peppermint, and I'm hoping that'll fill in really well. There's a lot of different plants that I have researched on that I'm planning on adding through here to repel snakes and other insects as well. This is the reason I saved the shingles. Not because I'm going to use them long term, but they're just helping to keep the weeds and grass from growing back in those areas I've already removed it from until I get far enough along to get a load of mulch delivered and put down. These here are the only ones left from below that I still need to plant in the ground and figure out exactly where I want to locate them. So I finished my fire pit, and my brother, sister-in-law, and nephew were in town just last week, and they helped me move all of these logs up from below in order to have seating around the campfire. So you probably remember all of my plywood and extra little pieces of wood that was spread out all the way through here drying, that was pulled up from down here. So this is where a lot of the dirt is going that I'm pulling up from where I'm planting things. There was a big square concrete slab and some cinder blocks down here. My brother helped me get those up. Yeah, it's nice that the whole driveway is cleared out. Since I had gotten that fire pit done, I was able to burn all of that. That's all cleaned up and nice now. While my brother's family was in town, he helped me wash my car and get a lot of tree sap off. And when I went to try to use the hose on this reel stand, whatever, cart, this wasn't working anymore. So this is set aside to go to the dump the next time I go back into town, and the kitty cats just love playing around it for right now. But we have a couple more new ones on order, so that's gonna be out of here. Every day we're just trying to make things look a little better and get on top of things. And I say that as you can see this huge stack of pallets and all the leftover buckets from plant transferring. Yeah, so those pallets are actually going to be used for something as soon as I can get to it, and they won't be there forever. This fountain over here, my brother and nephew helped me get up on top of that stump from, originally it was in the hole next to the shed that got filled in by the landscapers, and then it was propped up behind the shed. So now we've got that in a place where it's going to stay and not just sitting around like rubbish. And this is the last planter that needs to be emptied in order to be moved. And yeah, so I'm transitioning the plants that are in there down to my space, and then I'll be able to haul the planter down to where all of the planters are located around that side of the house near the fire pit. I was trying to show that Fynn has actually gotten more comfortable and is coming up and letting me pet her a lot more too. Fleur is getting so comfortable, she's going in my lap even. So since the last section of the video, I had finished this area up to the steps, and I transitioned the rocks from around this section with these flatter blocks because they'll allow me to do what I want to do to kind of close that area off underneath there. And with time, all of these neat quartz or whatever kind of rocks, with time it's going to be a huge buildup of those, so you don't see the blocks that's holding up pan. I'm going to do the same thing here, but this is where the big flat concrete slab was transferred to, when my brother and nephew was able to get it up from down below. And I'm hoping to find enough of the Tennessee quartz or whatever it is to like obscure the concrete block here. That'll just be a way of naturalizing it and tying everything into the landscape around us. I've purchased all of these and got them planted, and as they grow in, that'll look really nice. And then I've got some irises and lilies planted in here, and then a little bit of a carpet ground cover type thing along through here getting started. And some of them are very skimpy. Most of the roots had deteriorated by the time I got them out of the bins they were supposed to be temporarily in, and ended up staying in far too long. But you can also see that some of the wildflowers are starting to bloom through here. They're very pretty. And the wildflowers along this corner are blooming real nicely. This is the fullest section of wildflowers right now, and hopefully they keep reseeding themselves or are perennials. I'm not sure on all of that yet. So yeah, that's an update on all the progress that's been going on around the home front here. And yeah, until next time, peace out.